and welcome to the premiere of the fabulous Dive Bar Diva series. I am your host, the Diva herself, coming to you from the historic Peacock Alley in downtown Bismarck, North Dakota. With me, as usual, or for the first time, is my best friend and beer bitch, the darling Darius. Darius, how are you?
I'm very good today.
We do not have Pabst Blue Ribbon at the Peacock Alley, so we have to offer an alternative. What are we drinking today?
Alaskan White.
Alaskan White.
What do you have?
Now, Darius, as this is our very first episode, we wanted to make things very special and kick things off right by featuring the area's most iconic landmark and pairing it with the city's newest musical sensation, Jimmy Gefroh, one half of the gorgeous Gefroh brothers, who will launch their soon-to-be lustrous musical career right here at the Peacock Alley and will be spreading like wildfire all over the region. Now, let's go get started by paying a visit to the owner of this beloved bar and grill, Mr. Dale Zimmerman. Hello again. We are here now with Dale Zimmerman, owner and proprietor of the Peacock Alley. Dale, how are you?
I'm very good.
I've heard so much about you. It's wonderful to finally put a face with the name, with the reputation of the great establishment. Dale, how long have you been the owner of Peacock Alley?
2 years, 9 days, and 14 hours.
But who's counting?
Exactly.
And the 2 years, 9 days, and 14 best hours of your entire life.
Absolutely.
What did you do before this?
I actually was an executive for a very large company.
For quite some time, or?
Yes.
And what made you decide to do this?
I got tired of traveling. I was traveling about 30,000 air miles a month.
Wow.
All over the world. And I have 4 kids and a grandson and a wife, and I wasn't seeing them. So I asked them to buy me out of my contract, which they did. Took a leap of faith, no idea what I was going to do. 4 months later, realized I was way too young to retire, and I was bored out of my mind. And went to a local business broker and said, I would like to buy a business in town because we do not want to move. And he said, well, there's a trucking business available. I said, no.
That would have been perfect.
No, thank you. And then he said, there's a school supply business for sale. And I said, no, thank you. And he said, well, I'll do some checking. And he called back about a week later and said, I think I might have something that might work. There's a possibility that there's a place that would sell if the buyer is right. And I said, well, what is it? And he goes, well, I can't really tell you. It's secret. You need to sign all these documents. I said, what?
It's a good
confidentiality.
Tom and Nicole movie right there.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
So we had to sign all these.
So you just had to buy a business you didn't know what it was?
Pretty much. I had to send them a lot of
It's a
financial
grab bag
statements just to find out what the name was. And then when he told me it was the Peacock Alley was interested in possibly selling, I told my wife, and she said, a restaurant? Are you kidding me? What's
You've
next?
never owned a restaurant. You've never been. And the Peacock Alley itself, not the building, but the business has been around for how long?
Off and on since 1933.
And what's different, I mean, obviously, aside from, all of the planet, what's different since you've taken over the Peacock Alley? What have you done to change the establishment?
We've done a lot of changes in 2 years. Tremendous, actually. We've completely changed all the menus. We have 2 items left on the lunch menu or the dinner menu that are from the previous menus. We have a new head chef that we brought in about a little over a year ago. We brought in a general manager from New Mexico, and we're changing everything there is basically about the Peacock Alley without changing and stomping on the historical part of this, because we believe that's what makes this place different than anything. The hardest part about the restaurant business is staying current. You travel around Bismarck, you travel around the country, and restaurants generally don't last for more than 5 or 10 years. They just burn out and they die. It's because their customers have gone on to something else, the next newest thing. And when you're a restaurant that's been here since 1933, how do you tell everyone that you're new and fresh again without being new and fresh again? So what we've done is we've embraced the historical part of it. We've put up all new artwork in here, embracing that part, and we're really playing off of the historical part, and customers are responding to it. The younger generation has really responded positively to the historical part. They don't always want everything, new and, franchisey. They like the independent stuff. They like the stuff where you can go in and they know who you are, and that's what the Peacock Alley is.
What has been your greatest reward since you've taken over and seen this sort of progress and growth and mark that you've already made?
I don't know if I can single it out to just one thing. I mean, we've had, in 2 years, we've received several awards. We've been recognized nationally in December by the National Cattlemen's Association. So those are all things that are, rewarding. Probably the biggest rewarding thing is having a strong customer base and seeing that base come back often. To me, that's the biggest thing about, that's when you know that you're doing something right. You can always sell something once to somebody, but if you can sell it to them twice, that's when you know that you've done something special.
I want to talk about food because it is my favorite thing in the whole entire universe, and everything I've ever eaten here has been wonderful, whether you take it away from me or you leave it. And I appreciate the ongoing game that you play with me and my honey mustard. But I had a fabulous steak last night. I've had amazing salads and sandwiches and wraps. What is your favorite menu item on the Peacock Alley's menu?
Well, as crazy as this is probably going to sound, I spend a lot of time with our cooks, our chefs, in developing the menus, and I eat virtually every meal here. And the reason I do that is because I want to make sure that our customers are always experiencing what it should be. So the best way to do that is to try it yourself.
Keep telling yourself that.
It is. It is absolutely the best way, because otherwise you don't know. You think it's right, and you wouldn't believe the amount of mistakes I'd catch by actually eating every meal here. It would blow your mind. So I'm a very simple guy. I'm a very simple guy, though. So even though we're a steakhouse and we have the best steaks in the state by far, I actually prefer the burgers.
Really? They are fantastic burgers. The last thing I want to touch on, Dale, is you are widely renowned as the godfather of downtown Bismarck. So as such, I would like you to make me an offer that I can't refuse.
How about being a guest bartender at the Peacock Alley?
I would love to do that. I would be really bad at it. I will be terrible at it, but I will have a great time.
How about a guest bartender for charity?
That sounds good for me. Yes, absolutely. You come in to drink? Can I serve you? Awesome. I'll card you, though. Thank you so much, Dale. We are going to walk over and chat with Jimmy Gefroh now, and then we'll bring you back together face to face and lay all of this crazy rivalry business out onto the table. In the meantime, let's take a stroll around Peacock Alley and see what this grand gathering place has to offer. Welcome back. We are sitting here now with Jimmy Gefroh. Jimmy, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thank you so much for joining me. Just got a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
Jimmy, where did you grow up?
I grew up right here in Bismarck. I lived the first couple of years of my life in Center, North Dakota, but mostly right here in Bismarck. So.
Excellent. And where are you now?
I'm in Grand Forks, actually, going to school up at University of North Dakota, but I make a couple trips down here during the school year, and this is my hometown right here in Bismarck. So,
on occasion, you do come down to Bismarck and other places and you play music. When did you start getting musical? When did your musical journey begin?
I'd have to say my musical journey began pretty early. I learned to play the violin when I was about 3 years old. My mom was teaching me how to play the violin, and then eventually I was a 7th grader. I was about 13 years old, and I started playing guitar, and I learned a couple chords here and there. And then my brother and we've always been singing together growing up. And
your brother is Steven, who's playing with you frequently when you guys... You are the Gefroh brothers.
We are the Gefroh brothers, and he's obviously the other 50% of it, so it's...
50 or maybe
50,
30?
Maybe
70, 30? Okay. And he's younger than you, correct?
Exactly, he's younger, so I have to give him crap every now and then.
Excellent. So you obviously grew up together, and at some point you kind of figured out that you had this music groove together and you started playing. So When did that come about? How long have you been the Gefroh brothers that perform?
The Gefroh brothers that perform, well, you know, I have to say only for about 2 or 3 years.
So how did it start? Where was the first place that you guys played
The
together?
very first place, and I'm going to give her credit, was a woman that my mom knew. Her name was Jill Power, and she wanted us to play at her backyard summer party. And so we were up on this deck, and we were just like, oh my God, what do we do? Oh, okay, so we wrote down like a bunch of songs that we knew, and we just put them in order real quick, and we just set it down this like notebook piece of paper on the ground, and we just kind of just nervously just like played through it, and it went really well. But that was kind of our first experience of playing
That's how it
together.
kicked it off. So then you've just been finding places to play, like the Peacock Alley.
Right.
So what styles of music do you play when we come out to see you at the Peacock Alley? What can we expect to hear?
Well, you can expect to kind of hear a lot of things. A lot of newer stuff. A lot of people like, I'd say anything from Jason Mraz to like Journey. It's a pretty wide variety. We try and provide basically anything that all ages can enjoy.
So you do original music. Do you do that when you perform live? Do you play your original
Yeah,
music?
every now and then, you know, we like to just throw a couple originals in there every now and then, you know. It's not, one thing we don't really do is we don't really announce like the next song or anything. We just kind of keep playing through and just kind of keep the atmosphere rolling so that people kind of just, the attention span thing is a big thing to kind of keep people's attention, to keep that flowing, you know, so people recognize each song. Sometimes we throw an original in there, and we'll do like a really big hit song, and then we'll throw an original in there.
Kind of sneak it.
Kind of just sneak it under the rug real quick so that people don't notice, like, yeah, that's pretty good, and then throw another popular one in there.
And that is sort of the unfortunate balance of performing for live music for a general audience, is that you have to do the hits, and everyone's kind of resigned to that. But it's great that you play with enough diversity that you can throw your own, pepper your own little surprises in there.
Absolutely.
That's great.
It's just sneaky, basically. So,
What of all of the things that you do, and I'm assuming you've got a set long enough to play a couple of hours, what is your absolute favorite piece to perform? What is that perfect thing that you guys sort of nail every time?
oh man, you know, that's so tough. That's a really awesome question. There's so many favorite songs, but for so many different reasons we like different ones from each other. But I have to say, when we bring in Lights by Journey, I think everyone's just kind of like, oh my God, you know, Lights. Steven just comes in right away, and I don't even play anything. He just starts singing it, and everyone's like, oh yeah, I love that. So that's
Journey's
really,
kind of always a crowd favorite. You
Oh.
really can't go wrong.
people just love that. And then when people start singing, it's just like the best thing ever, because our confidence goes way up, and like everyone's having a good time. So the atmosphere is absolutely perfect at that point,
Excellent.
for sure.
So what are your plans, whether it be with Steven and you guys performing together, or just yours for the future musically, again, ignoring this broadcast journal and some nonsense?
Yeah.
What is it that you hope to do with music in the future?
You know, what the dream kind of is we are trying to put an original CD together, and we want to record that, and we want to kind of promote that, and basically we want to get our name out there as much as we can locally, and see where we can get locally. But then eventually we want to sometime soon maybe take some sort of a road trip and kind of just promote our stuff, whether it be statewide or whether it be just within the local area of North Dakota.
So in the meantime, where can people go to find your music and continue to support you? Maybe 500,000 views or something kind of deal. Where can we send them?
That would be great. YouTube is always a great one. We have tons of stuff on YouTube.
And we can just look for the Gefroh brothers.
Yeah, the Gefroh brothers on YouTube, or Jimmy and Steven Gefroh.
Will you
Those
spell
work
Gefroh
too.
for us?
Yeah, Gefroh.
And you have a Facebook page as well?
Facebook page as well, and we're trying to get that up and rolling as much as possible.
I have one more question for you. I'm thinking of you and your brother.
Okay.
My favorite brother musical duo of all time is Nelson. Now, you are probably way too young to know who that is, but
Okay.
which Nelson brother are you? Are you Gunnar or Matthew? Are you the hot one or the misunderstood one?
Oh man. That is so funny. I would definitely have to say the misunderstood one, just because I can't tell you how many girls have asked me about, oh, is your brother Steven, is he single? You know, it's just like, and I'm just like, oh, come on, you know? It's just like, it gets frustrating after a while, but I kind of like part of me kind of likes being the misunderstood one because he definitely kind of carries the hot status, I think, in the group. So.
Well, and the good thing about being the misunderstood one is then when you guys have a big feud and everything goes to shit, you're the one that gets like the behind the music because you're the misunderstood one.
Exactly.
So it's fantastic.
Exactly.
Jimmy, I appreciate you so much taking the time to talk with us. I would like for us now to track down Dale together, and
Definitely.
we are going to air these silly grievances that you have. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the Gefroh brothers in action.
Trying to make some sense of it all, but I can see that this makes no sense at all. Is it cool to go to sleep on the floor? 'Cause I don't think I can take it anymore. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle with you. But you started out with nothing in your pocket, you're self-made man.
And we are back. We found Dale, we have Jimmy. How's my hair, D?
It's pretty good.
Good? We're ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Now, I have brought you gentlemen together to try to alleviate some of the very obvious hostility that you have toward one another. Now, I know you're both very angry, aggressive types, so it is natural for you to butt heads a little bit, but we are going to do our best here to show the value of one another and how you might effectively work together, okay?
That'd be great.
All right, you ready for that, Dale? You think you're up for this challenge?
I am.
Dale, when and why on earth did you decide to start hosting live music?
Well, I felt sorry for Jimmy.
Which obviously eventually leads to massive dislike. I mean, you're working with artists, it's gonna end up being that way.
Yeah, it's my cross to bear. I had to, when you have young talent out there, the hardest thing for them to do is always get that first gig or first time, exposure with people, and after 43 times of him begging, dropping off numerous CDs, having his uncle call me, who's our banker. I felt the pressure.
So do you host live music regularly?
It's not like on a regular schedule, but it's probably, I'd say, 4 or 5 times a month.
So whenever you have enough destitute musicians begging you.
Yes.
So when was the first time you played at the Peacock Alley, Jim?
The first time we played at the Peacock Alley was last summer, very early in the summer. It was like in the middle of May. I remember getting done with finals, and we were really nervous, and we just like, oh, let's go talk to Peacock Alley's manager. You know, I had not met Dale yet and everything, and we were kind of shaky about it, and we wrote up this big list.
Horribly intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. It's times have changed, but I agree. So we had this huge list of songs, and like our CD that we recorded some stuff on, and we just like were like, okay, here you go, you know, and hopefully that was okay. And then we got a call back asking, you know, some different things, and then we came and did a little tryout, and then we had a gig.
So how many times have you played here since? Quite frequently?
You know, I would have to say we've been here at least almost 20 times since then, at least.
Oh wow, excellent.
Yeah, for sure. And we're really looking forward to this summer and everything, because that's been a big thing for us. And Dale's been great to have us here this summer. And even over the school year, when I've been able to come home randomly on the weekends and just give Dale a call and say, hey, we'd really like to play for you guys this weekend if we could. And he's been generous enough to help us work that out. So,
Dale, what do you do to promote the music, and how do you find the crowd changes, especially when you have the Gefroh boys on?
Gefroh Brothers, of all the musical talent that we've ever had, are by far and away the easiest ones to promote because they have their own following. When they first started playing here, you know, they were brand new, and you know, their family, their extended family and friends would come. But then when they started reporting back to their friends how much fun they were having and stuff, the crowd grew very quickly. And we realized that when they were playing, they would bring in a lot of people, which for an establishment is what you want to happen. That's the whole point of having live music, is you want to have a bigger crowd than if you didn't have live music. But when we got the Gefroh Brothers and they play music where a lot of people know the songs, you know, and it's an acoustic guitar and 2 guys singing, it's hard to beat, and it's got a nice beat to it. It's usually upbeat and people can follow along, but they're not overpowering that people can't have conversations still. It's the perfect fit for the Peacock Alley.
Jimmy, what is of all of the venues that you play, and I know there are thousands, why is the Peacock Alley special? What makes it special for you?
well, the Peacock Alley is special because they've been all so loyal to us. Obviously, Dale's helped us out a lot.
He's not like holding a gun at you under the
No,
table,
he's
is he?
definitely not.
Okay. I'm just making sure. All right. Well, you do have people.
He's definitely promoted us on both of the social networks, whether it be Facebook and Twitter, and we've been in the paper and everything. Dale's done just an awesome job of helping us, and I feel like we can really work well together, and we've been able to meet and talk together about how, you know, we want to do things in the summer, and it's just been a great setup for all the gigs that we've had, and we want to continue to keep doing that.
I, for one, am looking forward to seeing you play here for the first time. I've seen you only on my tiny YouTube video, so this is my Gefroh premiere. Dale Zimmerman, Jimmy Gefroh, thank you guys so much for being here, taking the time to talk with me. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, darling.
No problem.
And thank you for tuning in to Diva Diva. Watch me and Darius with our special guests from surprise locations every Thursday at 9 p.m. on CATV 12. You can also catch Diva Diva live on urlradio.net every other Wednesday at 4. Or pick up a copy of Prairie Independent on newsstands all over Bismarck Mandan. Finally, be sure to like Diva Diva on Facebook and follow my blog at redamberray.wordpress.com. To find out more about the Peacock Alley, visit peacock-alley.com, and for details on the Gefroh Brothers, check out their Facebook page. And always remember to love where you live. Support local entertainment and media, and enjoy a beer and some pork rinds while you're doing it. Until next time.